the hero and heroin. These flows kilos. I can sell snow to a ski slope. I can sell evil to the devil, non-believers to a temple. Shit, I can sell water to a speedboat. And these eyes is iconic. I went pro, made profit. Now I keep some dead faces in my pocket, getting faded. I've been stoned all week. But what's a guy without a little OD? Just twisting my weed, easing my mind. Why you worry about me? Stop tripping, I'm fine. Swear these bitches done lost it lately. You put the whole in honest, baby. So complicated. And I may be a little arrogant, I'm aware of it, I know. I got a problem, I'ma take care of it. Weight I'm carrying, gotta let it go. It won't hold me down no more. Made a promise to my mama that I'll bless her with some grandkids. She can spoil them. But till then, I'm getting dollars, I'm just doing what I gotta. Can a man live? And it's all day. I'm a god, get a whole squad a job, get them all paid. Came a long way from all state, yeah. Now we all American. Shit, we all American. Shoot me down.
We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. We can't be stopped now. 'Cause this rap shit for life. We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. We can't be stopped now. 'Cause this rap shit for life.
Back then, I had a dream. I get this money, man. I know my life would change. Just need $100,000. Back then, I had a dream. I get this money, man. I know my life would change. Just need $100,000. Yeah. Back when I first made $100,000. Yeah, back when I first made yeah. Back when I first made $100,000. Yeah, back when I first made $100,000. Thought I was a shit. When I first made $100,000. Thought I was a king. When I first made $100,000. Couldn't tell me nothing. When I first made $100,000. Made $100,000. Yeah, okay. Back then they used to call me little, but now I'm riding something clean in a coat made of armadillo. They haven't got the memo. Saying I'm the shit though. Trying to make it complicated when the shit is simple. Tell me what you wanna be, what your dreams is. 100 G's in my jeans, I'm a genius. And every day someone save me please and get schooled, homie change degrees. On the plug, what you need though? I'm going beast mode. I keep a freak even when she underwater, she can deep throat. I made a meal before I paid a bill. These fools worry about a wave, I'm a Navy SEAL. Come with me, I can make your life change for real. Always had a dream of stunting, it ain't nothing unless you running shit. Just a young motherfucker with a plan. Thought I was a man. Back when I first made $100,000. Thought I was a shit. When I first made $100,000. Thought I was a king. When I first made $100,000. Couldn't tell me nothing. When I first made $100,000. Made $100,000.
What's up, everyone? Happy Monday. Let me know if you guys can hear me all right. Hoping everything's all set up. But yeah, good morning, guys. Happy Monday, May 25th. We're finally back with some content, boys. So, if you guys don't already know, though, we're gonna be building our slips today with Upside. There's an echo. Okay, hold on. Let me fix this real quick. Mic and plugging it back in. So let me know if that sounds good now. Let me know. Are we good? Is there no echo? Sound all good? My shirt's in the way? It's better? Cool. Just let me know if there's any issues with it. I'll do my best to fix it. But yeah, sometimes it's just me having to unplug and plug it back in. But yeah, we're gonna get into it. I'm not honestly sure how many people we have awake at 9 o'clock, especially if you guys are over on the West Coast. But assuming we've got a decent little crowd here over on the East Coast. But as you guys know, we are going to be building our slips with Upside tools. So I'll go over kind of how I work things over here. I know a lot of you guys that are watching on Twitch, obviously on the Upside account, are going to understand how this works, watching, you know, Matt and TJ build their slips out. So I'll kind of go over my process, and during the time that we're live, just ask questions. Remove the shirt. I can't hear the audio. Awesome. Just ask questions, guys. This should be, you know, an hour or so of you guys not only getting slips in, but obviously learning and kind of just gaining some knowledge as well. So if you guys want, I can kind of go over my filters that I use, pretty similar to what the other guys use. And the filters are kind of wanting it's one of those things where you kind of just play around with it. So typically I just have the basic books that are known as sharp. So like for player props, I've got FanDuel weighted a little bit heavier. And then I've also got Pinnacle, obviously weighted heavier whenever we're doing main lines. So if you guys have been in one of my streams before, you guys will know that whenever I open Prize Picks on Google Chrome, which is what I use, my entire computer just completely malfunctions. Nothing will load. So with that said, I'm going to be pulling up Prize Picks on my phone, and then we're going to go over exactly what we play. So I've got Upside up at the moment with the optimizer up. We're going to look at Prize Picks. Right off the bat here, this is a pretty good play for Nikolaj Ehlers, under 2.5 shots on goal. So we're going to go over to Prize Picks and start building this out in a slip. You guys can see this is a 54.7. One of the probably best features that I love right now about this optimizer is that when you guys hover over these percentage, obviously you guys know that in order for us to be profitable on those 5 and 6 pick flexes long term, we have to have a hit rate of 54.3%. So if you're brand new to sports betting, you guys don't exactly know what you're looking for, all you have to do is hover over these the percentile here, the percentage, and it'll show you exactly what you need for each slip type on Prize Pick. So obviously as we get a little bit further down on the optimizer, these other ones down here under 54% are not going to be good props to take for any specific slip type. All right, we're looking for at least 54.3%. Now if you're brand new, this is going to be a really good feature for you guys. However, for me, I typically like to go over and actually look at the books a little bit more to see what those data points are. So right away, seeing that FanDuel has this at -144, this is a good prop and we're going to take this. Okay, so first leg here, we're going to put in Ehlers under 2.5 shots on goal. Let's see here, under 0.5 batter runs for Pete Crow Armstrong. I do like the fact that we have this at -141 over on DraftKings. Trident, I can't help but notice you don't have a gigantic window right next to your setup that lets a bunch of light into your room. Would you say that is negative EV? I think having no window is positive EV, actually. We'll have to get TJ on that. He needs to just move his desk. All right, so we're going to go over to the MLB tab. And by the way, like I said, after I get a slip in, I'm going to pull it up on stream so you guys can get it in as well. Hopefully I can drop the link in the chat. I'm honestly not really sure if I can, but I think it should at least pull up over on Twitch. So if you guys are not already following me over on Twitter, my handle is just at Trident_DFS. If you guys want to go drop a follow over there, I post some plays over there as well. So, all right, so we're going to take Pete Crow Armstrong under 0.5 runs. So that'll be leg number 2. Probably going to have just enough to build out a 5 leg possibly. Ooh, this is really good. Okay, never mind. Let's just run a 3 leg. This is great. So Karl-Anthony Towns, we're going to go over here. Karl-Anthony Towns over 4.5 assists. We're going to make sure to get this in real quick before it's removed from the board. So I'm going to run that as a 3 leg, okay? So we're going to do Pete Crow Armstrong under 0.5 runs, Karl-Anthony Towns over 4.5 assists, and then we're going to do Nikolaj Ehlers under 2.5 shots on goal. All right, so those top 3 plays right there, we're going to run in a 3 leg. I'm going to explain why just a second, okay? Let me make sure I get this posted over in the chat for you guys. Let's see if I can get this out. So this will be a 6x over on Prize Picks, all right? me see if I can drop this link in the chat. Like I said, I have to pull this up over on my phone so that way I can actually, you know, not have my entire computer crash. All right, let's see. We're gonna pull this up. Let's see. All right, here we go. There it is. All right, cool. So that's the 3 leg we're running. All right, so make sure you get that in. Let's see. I'm gonna put this in the chat. What are you guys saying? You want TJ to move his desk when he can't build a table? Yeah, that's 100% fair. Wow. Yeah, I did hack the Upside channel. All right. Let me know if you guys got that over on YouTube and Twitch. Hopefully you guys got the that link. Now I want to walk through exactly why we're taking this, right? So I just kind of told you guys, a 3-leg power, we need to have at least a 55% hit rate, right? And that shows us exactly here when we hover over, right? You guys can see there, 3-pick power, 55%. So why did I just take those other 2 props in a 3-leg? Well, if we go up to this top prop with Karl-Anthony Towns, 56.4%, right? We have really good data points here, minus 153 and minus 158 on DraftKings and FanDuel, 2 very reputable sports books that are going to give us good data points to go off of. So essentially, instead of having each individual leg of our parlay be positive EV, we just need the whole slip to be positive EV. Okay, so those 3 together are going to be all positive EV in that 3-leg for 6x. All right. One of the cool things also about this is, like, if I wanted to, typically I don't necessarily I'm not going to hide these plays as soon as I play them just once. Typically, I play all of my slips at half a unit. So then I'll play these props in 2 different slips, giving me 1 full unit of exposure on these specific props. But let's say we went ahead and played another slip with Karl-Anthony Towns over 4.5 assists. I can go over here and hide that specific prop so that way it no longer pulls up on the optimizer for me, okay? Am I live on Twitch as well? Yes. If you guys want to go over, I believe it's the Upside channel. So I forget what the handle is over on Twitch. I'm brand new to this. I think it's like, just search up Upside Tools and I'm live over there on Twitch. So I'm live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and TikTok at the moment. So yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and try and build out another slip. I still like this prop a lot, and if we can toss it in another slip, that'd be great. I also think that Prize Picks is going to remove it, which they just did. They didn't remove it. They bumped it up to 5. So Karl-Anthony Towns is now at 5 assists. Obviously, I always talk about this, guys. Prize Picks, you guys are in a constant battle with Prize Picks, okay? In securing value, right? You're always fighting against them because when you are trying to secure value, they are trying to remove it off the board, okay? So just as you guys saw there, the over 4.5 obviously has value. Remember, Prize Picks understands this as well. They understand where the value is. So they have to do their job by either removing that prop or bumping it to a higher number, which obviously bumping it to 5 now gets rid of the value there on that specific prop, okay? So we've got some other props up here. Let's see, minus 119. And you guys can notice I've got these books weighted to where we're not only considering, we're not taking into account just DraftKings and FanDuel. We're also looking at these exchange markets, right? Novig and ProfitX, where we're going to have primarily sharp bettors that are going to be playing these lines. So I love using these as data points as well. I'm probably going to skip over this Michael Waka prop for his under 17.5 pitcher outs. I do like the Kyle Tucker under 0.5 runs, as well as Emmett Sheehan over 1.5 earned runs. Let me go over here to the Whale Watch tool. All right. How do I feel about YouTube streams? I'm cool with it. I mean, as long as they don't like take my account down or anything. But yeah, I'm cool with YouTube streams. All right, let's take a look here. We don't have a ton of sharp money coming in at the moment, it looks like. Unless I'm just, let's see. Trey Yesavage, minus 120. Okay, we could definitely toss this in. All right, let's try to build out a 5 or like a 6-pick flex on Prize Picks, and then we'll probably go take a look at Underdog as well. Gosh, you guys in the comments are crazy over on Twitch. I didn't expect anything less, though. All right, we're going to go see if this prop for Yesavage. You guys have to correct me on my pronunciation. Gotta be a little bit better than TJ at least. We're gonna take Yesavage under 4.5 hits allowed. You guys can see that we've got $700 of liquidity over on ProfitX at -120. Obviously on Prize Picks in a 5 and 6 pick flex, we are getting these at -119. So technically the better play here would be to go take it over on Underdog or better. I mean, better we're getting at the same price. I'm gonna go back over and see what else we have available on Prize Picks though. Maybe we can play this. Okay, this is a good prop here. We're gonna take Kyle Karros on the Rockies under 0.5 total bases. All right, so under 0.5 total bases. Then we're gonna go down and take this Tristan Peters prop over 0.5 total bases. Tristan Peters over 0.5 bases. And then we're going to go to Kyle Tucker. We're going to take his under 0.5 runs. So that's 4. And then let's go ahead and grab that. I think they took off that Sheehan prop. I do like this, though. -142, -138 over on Rebet. We'll take this as well. So Kobe Mayo. And another thing that I will say, guys, is like, I think there's probably a little bit of a debate about if like 5 pick flexes or 6 pick flexes, right? Like which one would you prefer to run? You're going to need the same exact hit rate on your individual props in order to be profitable. Typically with MLB specifically, I like to run 6-mans in the morning because lineups aren't released yet. So like some of these guys that you will find in the back half of the lineup might not even be playing. So therefore, your 6th leg now reverts to a 5-pick flex, and it's the same exact hit rate. It's not like you've played a 5-pick flex, then somebody's not playing, and then you've got to refund the whole slip because a 4-pick flex is no longer profitable. Okay, so let's see, which one would we take here? I think I kind of want to roll with the Savale play here. Let me take a look at this. I think this final leg I'm going to get in is going to be Aaron Savale over 2.5 earned runs. Yeah, let's roll with that. All right, so this is going to be a 6-pick flex over on Prize Picks. All right, 6-pick flex over on Prize Picks. We're going to go over to probably Better or Underdog. Take a look at what we've got over there. Let's see, can I get this in the chat? Can I paste this in the chat over there? All right, I think that's the link. Hopefully that's right. All right. So that's a 25x. All right, so let's walk over that one more time. Go over it one more time. 25x. Cool. All right, so we're going to be taking Kobe Mayo over 0.5 total bases. We've got Kyle Tucker under 0.5 runs. We've also got... see if I can just pull up the slip for you guys. There it is. Boom. Kobe Mayo over 0.5 total bases. Tristan Peters over 0.5 total bases. Trey Yesavage under 4.5 hits allowed. Kyle Karros under 0.5 total bases. Kyle Tucker under 0.5 runs. And then Aaron Savale over 2.5 earned runs allowed. Cool. What was the other slip with Cat? I already got it. I just want to make sure I got the right thing. Yeah. It was this one right here. Boom. PCA under 0.5 runs, Ellers under 2.5 shots on goal, and then Cat over 4.5 assists. I powered it because I believe in Trident. Okay, let's talk about that for a second, all right? That's probably another debate that people have, right? I see it all the time on Twitter. Oh, why are you flexing your plays? Are you not confident in them? Guys, confidence has no place in profitable sports betting. All right. And I'm not talking about confidence in like a play as in like getting good value on it. I'm talking about the people who have confidence and base every movement based off of how they feel about a play. All right. If you were to take a 6-pick power, right, you need to be hitting at 54.8% on an individual prop rate long term. 6-pick flex, you only need to 54.3. All right. And yes, I know that 0.5% might not sound like a lot, but it matters. Okay. It matters a lot. Bring the other one back up. There you go. Boom. So best slip types on Prize Picks. All right. 5 and 6 pick flex. Below that, you've got your 3-pick powers. And then obviously going down the list, you're really not going to find enough value to be running 2-pick powers often, especially during like MLB season. It'll probably be, once we get back around to like football or NBA, whenever they just put boards up or whenever there's like, injury news that comes out, you might be able to get 2-pick powers in. But like everyone who runs 2-pick powers and says like, oh, this is bankroll building, it's not. All right, because you guys need to be hitting at a way higher rate than you would be if you're taking 5-pick and 6-pick flexes. Okay. All right, everyone get this in. Kobe Mayo over 0.5 total bases. Tristan Peters over 0.5 total bases. Yes Savage under 4.5 hits allowed. Kyle Karros under 0.5 total bases. Kyle Tucker under 0.5 runs. And then Aaron Savale over 2.5 earned runs allowed. Why did you avoid the Waka play? It has a little bit of liquidity in it. Let's see. Let's take a look. I don't know why I looked away from it. Well, it's not here anymore. I really just didn't like the data point that I saw. I think it was because that FanDuel had it at like minus 130 or something. Like there wasn't enough. Oh, here it is. So FanDuel doesn't have the play up anymore. But yeah, this is just a little bit too low for me. So I mean, if we had a couple other plays that were like hovering around 55% and we wanted to build out a full 5-pick, then yeah, I'd totally be down to toss this in there. But just because we're really not even peaking like past minus 130, it's just not a great prop in my opinion. Let's see. Bryce Terang. Let's take a look over at Better. Yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and ask questions, guys. That's what you're here for, right? We can get winning slips in, but we can also be learning together, right? Okay, let's go over to Better. We're going to see what we can get in over here. We've got a 23% profit boost over on Better. We've also got a long shot, 23% for a 50x or higher. Let's see. Do we want to play the Aaron Savale prop once again? Probably not. Possibly, though. We'll see. Let's see here. Minus 162 over on Underdog. Okay, let's go ahead and snag this prop. So we're going to go over to Better. We're going to build out a 5-pick flex. Okay, once again, you guys can see the breakdown here. 5-pick insured or 6-pick non-insured. For me, I like to play the 5 picks over here. Better has me like extremely limited. So we'll see what happens because sometimes they don't let me get in more than $10 on like, I get a pop-up on the screen that says, you can place more closer to game time. I've never seen that notification on any other app. But anyways, we're going to start off this slip over on Better with Bryce Terang over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Okay. Next up, we're going to put in Aaron Judge under hits, runs, and RBIs at 2.5. Okay. Under 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Jared Kelenic, minus 142 over on ProfX. Let's go ahead and toss that in. Jared Kelenic over 0.5 hits or total bases, whatever. I don't really understand why Better has both prop categories up, but they do. Okay, so here's that Michael Wacha prop. We can toss this in now. The other thing that I will say, some people might say this is dumb, because technically all of the information is baked into these lines already. However, I cannot tell you guys how many times under 17.5 pitcher outs or over 15.5 pitcher outs will hook, because typically speaking, most of the time, these managers are pulling their pitchers at the end of an inning. So if you guys don't know baseball, every inning is worth 3 pitching outs. So at 5 innings pitched, they get pulled. That's 15 pitching outs. If they go a full 6 innings, that's 18. So I personally don't really like taking these props, but obviously if we're getting minus 157 over on Pinnacle, which is not the sharpest when it comes to player props, but also minus 145 right now over on Novig, I feel like I'm obligated to take this, honestly. The DraftKings data point is not my favorite. Obviously at minus 119. So, and I'd like to see a data point here from FanDuel. Okay, DraftKings put it down to minus 125. Let's throw this in here. I'm okay with that. Let's do it. And if it chalks, if it hooks, then whatever. You guys can blame me. All right. So Wacha under 17.5 pitching outs. Terang over hits, runs, and RBIs at 1.5. Aaron Judge under 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. We've got Jared Kelenic over 0.5 hits. And then there's that Savali prop. I want to go over to the Whale Watch tool to see if we have anything for better. There's that Savage. Let's see. That Sheehan play looks good to me. Let's go back and look at it. Yeah, I was looking at this one earlier. Yeah, so minus 140. Yeah, I'm cool with taking this. I'm okay with taking the Savali prop if you guys haven't already. And I'm okay with doubling up on it if you guys want as well. But since we're going to go ahead and since the Sheehan prop is here, we're going to go ahead and take it. So over 1.5 earned runs allowed. You guys can go ahead and toss your profit boost on it if you'd like, if you have one. Oh, it looks like we've got a Memorial Day boost as well for MLB. Is this a full MLB slip? It is. I'm just going to toss that on there. Save the other for some basketball probably. 26% profit boost. That's nice. Cool. So go ahead and toss that in if you guys haven't already used your boost. Let me get this thing in. Also, the other reason there that I'm like just now realizing is Waka is playing against Judge. So the fact that we took the Judge under and the Waka under kind of negatively correlated. Obviously, those aren't like directly like, yes, both of those can still hit. I just typically don't like to run those together. Just because, yeah, if Waka's doing well, you can kind of say that, okay, Judge might not be putting up hits, runs, and RBIs on him. But also, he could go over hits, runs, and RBIs, and so could Waka could go over his pitching outs. So, all right, so that's going to be a 10x over on Better. Obviously, it's a little bit of a higher payout if you guys are using your profit boost. And the other thing I will say, some of you guys may already know this, but if you guys are using profit boost and you are increasing the payout of your slip, okay, you can technically go lower than what the required percentage is. Because if you are increasing the payout, you're also increasing the positive expected value on your slip when you're taking props like this, okay? Any underdog value? Underdog, honestly, guys, it sucks just because there was a period of time where underdog made the change where they said, okay, hey, our 2-pick powers are going to be 3.5x now. Our 3-pick powers are going to be 6.5x now. They had the best payouts in the industry, right? And they had a ton of value on the board. And then slowly they have not only limited players to $75 a day, but at the same time, they're also removing a lot of value off the board. So now what once was like a really good app for a very short period of time is now just like, I mean, there's very little value that I see over on Underdog. There is probably, I don't even know. There's usually not nearly enough value for me to build out a full 6-pick flex play over there. Like, I'm usually just lucky getting in 2-pick powers. So let's take a look, see if we got anything over here. I mean, that Savage prop is fine. Typically, when I'm using the Whale Watch tool, I like to have at least $500 of liquidity available on these specific player props. I know this is just under that. So technically, you could run this 2-leg. But I'm also not a huge fan of the fact that, like, we'd be getting this at minus 116 implied odds, and Novig pretty much has that around the same. Like, if this was at minus 120, then maybe I'd feel a bit more comfortable playing this, getting a little bit extra of an edge there. But I'd probably skip over that prop. No, 2-pick powers are still good. That's the thing. I'm not saying that their payouts are not good. I'm saying that the value that they allow on their board is not good, right? Because you can have the best payouts in the world, but if you're only offering 50-50 props, then there's really not much of an edge there. That's the issue. The race to place bot took your slip. You know what's crazy? I've heard a ton of people talk about race to place. Let's see, is it the exact same slip? Terang, Sheehan, Kelenic, Waka. It's the exact same slip. That's hilarious. So let me talk about a couple things. Number one, whenever I try and place race to place, it like won't let me. I don't know why. Like, even when there's good slips on the board, it won't let me. It won't let me use it. But anyways, the other thing this is weird because they've got, because we took Kelnick over 0.5 hits, right? Yeah, so they're just mixing it up. The Sheehan and the Kelnick props are actually good, and Terang. I'd have to do the math on that, but that actually might be a good slip to tail. Obviously, if you just played the one that I put in, don't put that. But 3 of those 5 props are already plus EV, and it's turning it to a 30x. So yeah, that's probably a really good slip to play. It looks like, because I mean, I just told you guys, I'd prefer to take the over on Waka just based off of the fact that he's probably not going to get pulled in the middle of the inning. So we kind of need him to implode early and probably get pulled, after 5. But that's probably a really good slip to play, actually. Do you hold more of a priority for FanDuel than the betting exchanges for player props? It's a good question. Let me just pull up my filters, actually. So if you guys don't know, with Upside here, you guys can go over to their fair value down here. And you'll notice, obviously, if you guys have watched Matt, he's got his own weights set up. So like if you're looking at game lines, you can click his and just automatically go through his, the sportsbook weights. Or if you are looking at props, obviously, for like DFS stuff, you can use that as well. For me, I've got Pinnacle weighted. If you guys just want to like see what I have my weights set at right here. Okay. FanDuel, I do have weighted higher than the exchange markets, but I also have the exchange markets weighted heavier than Pinnacle or DraftKings as well. So, and I know right now I don't have anything weighted as far as like other books or these other DFS apps, but that's something that I just naturally tend to look at, right? Like I already told you guys, like I'm typically not somebody who just will sit here and reload the optimizer and then just look at like the percentage. I typically will look over here as well, see what Underdog has, see what Parlay Play has, Rebet, all these other books over here as well, and just see what the data points are to support the plays that are pulling up, okay? All right, let's take a look at some game lines. I want to see if we've got anything over here. Let's go over, we're going to look at Novig. All right, and with this, typically I just go over, you guys can see what I have my weights set here. Pinnacle and Circa, I've got weighted a little bit heavier than FanDuel, and then I've got DraftKings and then these other ones as well. So typically I do that just because for the game lines, I don't technically weight the exchange markets a ton because I'm typically looking to take plays on the exchange markets, right? So when I use the tool, I'm typically looking at Novig and ProfitX. So I do want to take a look at a couple of these as well. Let's see. I also like to do this sometimes where I'll come down here to the odds to hit. And I'll put in, I guess I've already got it set at like 46%. I don't like to take huge underdogs, but sometimes I will. So sometimes I'll pull that off. Let's see, Liberty minus 13.5 at plus 128 right now. So typically with the main lines, like I said, I like to devig to Pinnacle. Obviously they've got this at plus 107. Let's see. I don't mind taking this prop. Got $1,000 of liquidity available on it. Let's go try to get this in. I'm cool with taking this. Oh gosh, it's gonna give me issues again. This always happens to me where they can't see my location for some reason. Might have to take this on my phone as well. Let's see. So typically with the main lines, I'm not worried as much of seeing like this large liquidity. What I will say is that, I know you guys can't see this real quick. Hold on. If you guys are trying to take plays on Novig, okay, this is one thing I would definitely just kind of be careful of, be mindful of. Typically on Novig, there are going to be sharp bettors, right? So if we're talking about game lines, you guys can go ahead and devig these to Pinnacle, which is the sharpest sports book in the world. And you can typically get a nice little edge when you're taking these devig to Pinnacle, okay? Now, with player props, you guys can obviously devig those to FanDuel. However, one thing that I'm typically cautious of is that if I go to take a play, right? And obviously, I know we're looking at game lines right now, but if this were a player prop, and I see that there's $1,000 of liquidity on one side, I'm not going against that. So this is telling me right now, this $1,000 of liquidity is saying that somebody is taking the Portland team at plus 13.5, right, at minus 128. And they're offering the plus 128. So typically, if I'm taking a player prop and I see a ton of liquidity available, I don't go directly against that, because typically that means that you're going directly against another sharp bettor. Okay. So if it's something where you only see, 50 bucks here, 50 bucks there on both sides, and you are essentially the first person to try and put down liquidity, making a market, then that's something that I'm all for. Okay. I should accidentally leak TJ's number. It's not a bad idea, actually. It's not a bad idea at all. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and go and take this. This is a 5% positive EV play. I also want to show you guys what exactly I do to determine how much I'm going to put on this. So let's go over here to WNBA. I got to pull this up on my phone because for whatever reason, they can't detect my location. I know it's ridiculous. So we're going to go take the Liberty minus 13.5. Is that plus 128? So look at these, the Pinnacle odds here, right? Plus 107 and minus 130. So I'm going to go over here to the calculators, right? I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to do here. So we're going to calculate what the no vig line is for this. So plus 107, minus 130, right? Calculate. So this is going to tell us that essentially the no vig odds here over on Pinnacle is plus 117 and minus 117. If you guys don't know what vig is or juice, it is essentially an extra fee, if you want to call it that sportsbooks add to these props in order for them to guarantee themselves a profit no matter which side hits, right? So that's why there's no zero hold on these sportsbooks. And it's not minus 117 plus 117. You guys will see minus 130 plus 107, right? So what this is doing, this no vig calculator is going to take out the vig, right? So now that we see, okay, we've got minus 117 over here. So now if we go over to, let's see, we got to pull up another calculator. Let's go over to the Kelly criterion. All right. And then if you were to put in, like, let's say, so I've got a $20,000 bankroll, right? I'm going to do this at 0.25. All right. Kelly multiplier here. And then we're going to put in the odds that we're taking this at. So at 128. And then we're going to put in over here the win percentage, or you can just put in the fair odds, which if we go back over to this calculator, fair odds here, 53.92% for the Portland, plus 13.5, but obviously we're going to take the minus 13.5 for that, the Liberty prop, right? So 46.08%. We can put in our win percentage here, 46.08%, and it'll tell us how much to put on this specific play. So for me, if I've got a $20,000 bankroll and I'm playing this at 0.25 for the Kelly multiplier, if I plug in all that, it's going to tell me to essentially stake 200 bucks on this, right? So if I go to put $200 on this at plus 128, I'm getting a 5% positive EV play in when DVIG to Pinnacle. Does that make sense? That's a lot of information. I don't know if that all makes sense. But anyways, that's what we're playing, right? So if you guys do want to tell that, we're taking the Liberty minus 13.5 at plus 128. Okay. You're on the Portland Fire money line. Isn't that the new team? I'm not dialed in with the WNBA. I know there's like the Tempo or something, and there's the Fire now. Yeah, new team. Okay. Someone laid 1,000 on it. Yeah. So that's what I was saying. Like with the main lines, I'm not as concerned when it comes to the liquidity. Now, obviously, if somebody's got over $5,000 on it, then yeah, I might be a little cautious. Like specifically this right here, like Liberty money line. Somebody over there has a lot of money on the Fire to win. Considering this is all, yeah. So I probably should have looked at this first, honestly. Somebody's got over 20 grand on the Fire to win at plus 521, so they're getting pretty good odds on it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But typically long term, I like to just devig to Pinnacle on these lines. And like I was saying, if it's a player prop, then yeah, I'm not going to be playing something directly against a ton of liquidity. But for main lines, I'm a little bit more lenient with it. Let's see what else we've got here. We have any baseball for today? I'm going to get in some baseball. How do you know if it's a person with 1K or like 100 people with $10? So you really don't know, but typically with no vig, people will create markets and you can set your line, which is why whenever you like pull up a market, like for instance, like Yankees money line, you'll notice that there's a ton of different price points. So like, yes, typically you're not, I mean, technically you could have, 4 different people that are all trying to take the Royals at plus 127, and that's why there's liquidity over here. But most of the time Novig is a place for you to have no limit to how much money you're putting down. So you are going to have high rollers that are putting in thousands of dollars on specific plays, which is why it's so good to use as a data point, because sportsbooks limit how much you can put down. Therefore, they're not as reliable as a data point when you have that much liquidity coming in on these books instead. Okay. So let's go back over to, let's go look at some, actually I wanted to see real quick here. Over 7.5. Plus 101 on ProfitX. Do we want to take this? Plus 103. We might take this. I like to have a little bit more of an edge than that, but it's not a bad prop to take. Do we have anything to tail over on the Whale Watch tool? Let's see. Cavs plus 1.5. Over on ProfitX, we can get it plus 118. Under tonight. Canes minus 1.5. Royals money line. Okay. If you're already on one side of a bet on Novig, say the Knicks minus 2.5, and then the Cavs money line pops up as a good EV prop, do I still take it? Good question. So typically, the only way that I would take 2 props that directly go against each other with no other outcome being the case, like for instance, like if you had Knicks plus 2.5 and then also the opportunity to take Cavs money line, then that's another conversation. But with Cavs minus 2.5, one of them is hitting and one of them is not. So the only reason that I would tell you to do that, actually I wouldn't tell you to do that, but the only reason why it would be a good idea is if you're able to arbitrage that. So for whatever reason, if those 2 price points cross over to where you can guarantee yourself a profit no matter which one hits, which you technically can't, because if the Knicks win by 1 or 2, then both of those plays would lose. So I would not do that. Now with other things like with the DFS, there are there's times when I will take 2 different plays that technically go against each other, but there's still at least one outcome where both of them can hit. Okay. Am I going to be in the Upside Discord as well? I'm in there. I'll drop stuff in the chat sometimes, but I'm going to be streaming here on the Upside channel on Twitch and also YouTube. Probably going to be interchanging those. I have to talk with the other guys about that. But I post plays over on Twitter, so if you guys are not already following me over there, my handle is at Trident_DFS. If you guys want to drop a follow over there. And guys, if you like the Upside tool, if you like what we're looking at right here with the Whale Watch and obviously the other optimizers that we've been using, you guys can sign up with Upside using code Trident. All right, TRIDENT. You guys can get 25% off. And obviously, if you are brand new, if you've never tried out the Upside tool, you guys can get 5 days free of either the optimizer or the Whale Watch tool, obviously using that code as well. All right. So let's go back over. I want to go put in some more prize picks if we have some value here. Can I show my weights? Yeah, of course. What do you want to see? I got 3 different filters. 3 different filters for you guys. Did I already run prize picks and better? I did. We're obviously going to check out to see if there's more value though. So we'll go over some more. NBA. Yeah, so I don't really have weights set based off of sport. I just have 3 different presets. So Pick 6, obviously the main reason I have this as a separate filter is just because Pick 6 is a DraftKings platform, therefore they pull odds from the DraftKings sportsbook. So I like to just take DraftKings out completely. So if you guys want to see the weights there, you guys will notice DraftKings is not weighted here at all. Circa, you got Novig, ProfitX, and then FanDuel obviously as the main contributor for the weights. Typically, just rule of thumb for me, FanDuel is the main contributor for player props. Pinnacle is the main contributor for main lines. Okay, so that's what I've got here for pick 6. Main markets, obviously, you guys can see the Pinnacle, Circa, 2 sharp books are set as the main weights here. And then for just normal DFS stuff, prize picks, better, all that stuff, that's what I have here. Okay. How do you edit your weights? All you got to do is just go over to the filters, scroll down to the fair value tab, customize your book weights. You obviously can go with the recommended stuff here. Matt's got his set up. But then you just come over here, select what books you want, contributing to your overall percentages on the optimizers, and then you can just set your weights over here. So should probably, required. Ooh, I need to do that for the main markets and just have Pinnacle required. So yeah. TJ is the only freak who has different weights for each sport and app. Yeah, I need to talk to TJ. We haven't had any conversation about that yet. At one point, he said that we were going to talk about it. But, yeah, he's got a whole bunch of different presets. All right, there's that Tristan Peters prop. Ellers, a couple of these guys are still up on the board. Let's see. Do we have anything over on DraftKings Pick 6 today? I think didn't I have like a 30% winnings boost? I got a 30% winnings boost to use today. Oh, that's why. Okay, so we've got a ton of Memorial Day. I just totally realized that. Sorry for not saying that. Happy Memorial Day to everyone. Probably should have opened stream by saying that. So let's take a look at this. We got a whole bunch of different discounts. These are all hitters. Okay, so I'd probably prefer to take the 0.5 hits, runs, and RBIs over total bases. So we've got Ellie and then Jake Berger. Let's take a look at this. So I'm going to go over to Pick 6, and then like I said, I can come over here to my fair value model, put in Pick 6. Okay, so we've got, this is a decent prop. Let's go ahead and do this. So let's go back over to, let me get off a Novig. Go back over to Pick 6. We're going to take the Ellie prop first. Okay. I'm going to go, actually, you know what? Let's do, no, we're going to take Ellie. All right, let's go to total bases. We're going to go over to the Seattle game. All right, we're going to go over 1.5 total bases for Julio Rodriguez. Got some pretty good data points here, especially this -145 on FanDuel. Obviously, the one big thing that kind of sucks with Pick 6 is that you have to have all these in the same sport. So I can't just go take an MLB, WNBA, all that stuff. So we're going to take this as our first prop. I guess I can go ahead and just clear these out and just show me MLB props as well. So Julio Rodriguez, over 1.5 total bases. We're also going to take the over 1.5 total bases for Shohei Ohtani. Okay, so let's go to the Dodgers game versus the Rockies. Ohtani over 1.5, so that's going to pay out 6x. Let's go ahead and just run that with this specific discount. Why does it do this to me, dude? Why? This is literally like, some days it works, some days it doesn't. And the problem is the way for me to fix it is to completely just, I go up here and I say, okay, turn off my Wi-Fi, turn it back on, but that would obviously disconnect the stream. So I can't do that. All right, so I'm going to do it on my phone, and I'll just pull up what I play. But you guys can see the slip right there. That's what we're playing, okay? Ellie, discount, and then over total bases for both Ohtani and Julio Rodriguez. Okay, Ohtani and J-Rod, boom. So we're capped at $10 there. That's what we're playing over on Pick 6, though. All right, I think I have a, let me see if I can get this link for you guys. All right, thanks for the slips. Of course, dude, of course. All right, that should be, I should have just posted the link in the chat over on YouTube and Twitch. Hopefully you guys got that. All right, so we've got Pick 6. This is for the stat slice for Ellie, and then we're taking over 1.5 total bases for both Otani and J-Rod. Yeah, same game is probably the worst with NBA. So I should be able to pull this up though, right? Yeah. So there it is. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and look at another one real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and hide these. See if we have any more value. I guess I could use that 30% as well. I'm probably not going to use that on MLB though, just because I don't think we're going to have a whole bunch of value there. The WNBA was the one that I thought that we had a decent amount of value, I think. Let's take a look. Is the Jenna Tulse... Oh, I see. You guys are... I can't stand you guys. Is there any more value on Prize Picks or better? Yeah. Let's take a look. Let's go back over to Prize Picks real quick. I'll come back to Pick 6. I wish the optimizer would show the stat slice discount so you can see which ones are the best. Yeah, I mean, again, this is probably the response that you'll get with a ton of stuff, but like Upside's relatively new, so a lot of the feedback that you guys are giving is super constructive, and also a lot of stuff that's going to be like coming in the future, you know. So let's take a look at this. Mizrowski under 8.5. My goodness, that's a freaking line. Holy cow, 8.5 strikeouts. Minus 157. I'm not a huge fan of this prop, honestly. I know it meets the 54.3% here, but the main driving factor in this is Pinnacle, it looks like. So yeah, but you didn't really get me. That's the thing, because my pronunciation wasn't quite there. I know what you were going for, but it wasn't quite there. I don't know. You have to try again. Maybe I'll slip up eventually. Let's see. What do we want to take here? We've got props available. Some of these we've taken though, and I'm not really seeing anything that's crazy good. I want to see a good whale watch play to take on these DFS apps. Orioles money line over on the Better Sportsbook. I guess I could do Dabble. I don't usually play Dabble just because they literally limit me to like $3 a slip. But we can take a look at that if you guys want. I know there's some people that are like, they just love Dabble. Bro, the comments are crazy. This guy looks like he knows a thing or two about the Itsy Bitsy Spider. That's great. I'm going to go back over to Pick 6. I think I'm going to build out something for this 30%. So like I said before, guys, if you guys have Profit Boost, you can essentially take lower than what the threshold is for you guys to have a profitable slip, right? So let's see. What's the 30% boost on? Is it just anything? Is it... it's probably going to be like a 4-leg, isn't it? Any pick type, any sports. Okay, cool. Then let's just do that. We'll do a 3-pick then. 3-pick's going to be the best bang for our buck. Let's roll with WNBA. I know it's not crazy exciting, respectfully, but let's see. These are two opposing teams, right? I think Carla's on the Fire. Pretty sure. Is there just one game today, though? Is there just one WNBA game? Because if that's the case, then I probably won't take it. There's two, but we have no value on the other one. Okay, let's look at MLB. Mizrowski. I don't know what I want to take here. I'm struggling. This D-Mitch prop is great for under PRA, but I guess we could roll with that and just do... No, because if we need a third prop, we're going to have to come all the way down here for Karl-Anthony Towns. Minus 130, though. Let's do that. Let's just run this. I actually like that a lot. So we'll go over points for Cat. Take under PRA for D Mitch at 36.5. Four of my best friends all got shot and I got jumped today. What? I don't know when the chat's trolling and when they're not, so I gotta be careful about how I react to information like that. This is perfect. This is great. This is a 6x, and we should be able to use our winnings boost here. This is perfect. Okay, so if you guys have a winnings boost to apply to anything, play it on this. All right, this is technically correlated. I know basketball's kind of, what's the term I use? Objectively correlated. But again, if Karl-Anthony Towns has himself a game and Brunson doesn't do a whole bunch, then this is a great outcome here, right? So Karl-Anthony Towns over 16.5 points, D Mitch under 36.5 PRA, and then Brunson under points. And again, I have to put this in on my phone. Hopefully this will be fixed by tomorrow. Which, by the way, if you guys didn't already hear me say this, 9 a.m. Monday through Friday, I'll be here. Okay, so set your alarms and tune into the streams, and we'll make some money together. It's that simple. All right, so 30%, boom. TJ will tell you about NBA correlation. He's the founder. Wow. Correlation is so goated. It's a shame that 99% of these apps just said, screw you. And they won't let us do that anymore. I will say, and I might keep it. I'm not gonna gatekeep it, but I'll let you guys know when we can use it. There's a little correlation that I've been running that's it's profitable, and there's a nice little edge as well. But we'll go over that at a different time. I don't know where I get the link for this, dude. It's like not pulling up on my phone. Share. Copy. There it is. Finally. Boom. All right. I just sent that out to the chat. Sorry this looks so small, guys. Gotta like zoom in. There it is. All right. So Donovan Mitchell under PRA at 36.5. Karl-Anthony Towns over points at 16.5. Jalen Brunson under 27.5 points. All right. Cool. Good stuff. Let me go ahead and clear these out. All right, let's go back over to Prize Picks. I know everyone's wanting more Prize Picks slips. So am I. I will say the goal today, and the goal probably every single day is going to be to get all of the value that we can. So that way when TJ goes live right after me, there's no value on the board for him. That's the goal, okay? So this will be where all your Twitch streams are now. Okay, so I've got to talk with them, with Matt and TJ, probably TJ mostly. And figure out, but I think that the goal is going to be, or at least the plan is going to be to alternate. So like one day I'll be live on my personal YouTube and then the upside Twitch. And then the next day I might be vice versa, right? So if you guys do want to go ahead and just follow everything, you guys can find my socials, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok. It's typically all the same username. Trident DFS, Trident _ DFS, all that stuff. So you guys, if you guys do want to go follow, that's where you'll find it, okay? WNBA or NBA value. We're looking. I don't really like some of these props that I'm seeing. Go back over to better. We have another profit boost. I totally forgot. We got another profit boost, so we can technically work with it a little bit, right? Tell Matt we want some merchandise. Bro, we will definitely have to make that happen. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. We used our 26% boost because the other slip was all MLB. So let's go ahead and build out a 23% profit boost over on better. Okay. All right, first leg here. We're going to go over to the WNBA. Carla Leite. Hopefully that's how you pronounce that. Under 15.5 points. That's going to be leg number 1. We're also going to take the under 14.5 points for Jonquel Jones. All right, so that's going to be the same game today. Both of those ladies under points. Leg 1 and leg 2. We're going to also take the under 5.5 hits allowed for Waka here. okay, versus the Yankees. Under 5.5 hits allowed. We're going to go ahead and snag Kumar Rocker. Under 4.5 strikeouts, which I love because this dude sucks. Except, actually, hold up, timeout. Pretty sure Rocker put up like an insane stat line in his last start, but most of the time he's given up 12 earned runs every game. So let's go ahead and take those 4. I still am not a huge fan of the Mizrowski prop here. We've already taken Terang. Maybe we can get in one last leg here from the Whale Watch tool? Possibly. Oh, that's a great link in the chat over on Twitch. Wonderful. You guys are ridiculous. Let's take this. JT Realmuto under 0.5 singles. Realmuto. Can I type? There we go. Realmuto under 0.5 singles. Okay. 5-pick flex. I'm using my profit boost here. 23%. You really don't need the profit boost considering what we just put in. But if you have it, obviously, use it. Let me get the link in the chat for y'all. There we go. So like I said, if you guys have the profit boost, you can use it. If not, it's okay. That's still going to be a good positive EV slip. So yeah, 5-pick flex. Put a half unit on it. Cool. All right. Do we have any questions, guys? Do you have any questions? How the tool works? Any questions about my process? Being profitable on DFS apps? All that good stuff. Like I said, guys, if you guys like the tool, you guys can sign up with code Trident to get 5 days completely free. So just go to upside.tools, right? When it asks you for a code, put in code Trident. If you guys have already tried out the tool, but you're thinking about getting back on, you guys can still get 25% off if you use that code, all right? And at the bottom of the screen, if you guys see on the stream, Novig, Kalshi, Pickett, Underdog, ProfitX, Sleeper, Better, and Dabble. If you guys aren't signed up for any of those, you can also use my code over there. Definitely get on Dabble, or not Dabble, Pickett. Completely free app, tracks all your plays. You guys can sign up with code Trident as well. Oh, everyone's spamming their codes in the chat. Wonderful. I still have a slip from May 12th that still hasn't cashed. On what platform? Like you have a leg that's like outstanding, or it's just like pending and it should be settled. Sitting in the open slips. Yankees money line minus 117. Ooh. You guys want to rock with some tennis? Oh, that's for tomorrow, though. I want to sweat something today. What else do we have here? 2.8% edge here. I don't want to take the over here just because we took those 2 girls under points. Wow, that's nuts. This it looks like the person who put 20 grand on the Portland Fire, it looks like all that liquidity has been eaten up. So they're gonna have themselves a good day or a bad day. We need the Liberty minus 13.5, I believe. That's what I saw. Do we have daytime baseball today? I think we have early baseball, right? Yeah, because that's at 1:30. I want to give us a good play to sweat out. Some of these books I'm not on. They said it will process once the next better update happens. That's wild. That's like 2 full weeks, bro. It's been pending for 2 weeks. Let's check out Underdog one more time. We have Underdog value. Okay, go over to Underdog. We're going to put in a little 2-pick here. A little tennis for tomorrow morning. Or tomorrow and Wednesday morning. Go over to Underdog. We're going to put in a little 2-pick. Okay. We're doing Cameron Norrie. Under 19.5 total games won. And then Haley Baptiste, under 12.5 games won. Perfect. All right. Go and go play that. Nice little 2-pick power there. It's going to pay out 3.5x. Put that in the chat. All right. There we go. Links in the chat. Cool. All right. 3.5x. Little 2-pick power here. Cameron Norrie under 19.5 total games won. Haley Baptiste under 12.5 games won. Got a nice couple different minus 140 price points. And obviously, we're over the requirement for our individual prop hit rate. Okay. Let's see. Guys, go ahead and drop any more questions in the chat if you have any. How do you determine if a no-vig play is one person with a lot of liquidity versus a bunch of people putting in a play? So that's what I was saying. I personally don't know if there's a way to directly track that. Obviously, I'm sure no-vig, like I don't know if the API from no-vig allows you to see like one specific user putting in that much liquidity, but typically the way that you're able to see the order book, you'll notice that you'll have a ton of different price points. So technically, yes, there could be multiple people putting in the same price, but that doesn't change what we're looking at, right? So we're looking at the overall liquidity coming in at a single price point, not just how much liquidity is coming in on that side. Does that make sense? Like, so technically, even if it is just one person or a few different people, that's not exactly what we're looking at. We're just looking at overall liquidity at a certain price point and then comparing that price point to what we're getting on other apps. Okay. It's a good question though. Good question. Just bumped? Yeah. I figured that the tennis players were going to bump because whatever system Underdog has in place now is very quick when it comes to actually just removing props that have any sort of value at all. Do we have anything on ProfitX maybe? 3% here. Liberty at minus 13. There's that over. Astros run line versus the Rangers. I don't like taking props with that much juice, but minus 164. 1% edge there. Let's see. What else do we have? In Kalshi? Yeah, I'm not taking a minus 600 prop. No thanks. Yeah, Fliff never has any value. Prize picks. Let's get another prize pick slip in, guys. Let's do this. Let's go over to prize picks. I'm gonna go back over to prize picks. Okay, first leg here. I need to see more data points here from these guys right here in the middle. This is what I'm looking at. These 5 books, kind of, if you guys want my opinion, for DFS, these 5 books right here are going to be your best friend. These are going to be the most important. And obviously, Underdog and these other DFS apps are going to be good in terms of like line discrepancies. But in terms of actually comparing to the price points, Circa, Novig, ProfitX, DraftKings, and FanDuel, these are going to be the best 5. Okay. These are going to be the ones that you're looking for. So although I do see that these are up here at the top, that could just be my fault for not having, like if I go over here, I can also put minimum sports books required. And then if I want to, I can say, hey, make sure FanDuel is required here. And then it'll pull it up. So that's something that if you guys do want to just mess around with, I don't think that you can go wrong by having FanDuel as a required book and then also having these props that are over that 54.3%. Okay. Anyone else watching from bed? I wouldn't be surprised. Like, honestly, what people are probably going to start doing, since I am going to be live at like 9 o'clock every single day, there's probably going to be people that set their alarms at 9 o'clock, wake up, they're going to stay in bed, they're going to tune into stream, and they're going to have Twitch up or YouTube in the background, and then get the slips in on their phone. It's a great way to start the day, though. Is Trident the cure to male loneliness? I miss seeing all the 60% underdog props from, and yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like underdog used to be peak, and then all of a sudden, it's like honestly, can I tell you? This is my conspiracy theory, right? This is what I think is actually happening. I think when underdog said, you know what, we're gonna take the next step and we're gonna bump our payouts to 3.5x, 6.5x, whatever. We're gonna be the best in the industry, right? They said that they were gonna do that, and then for this like, I don't know, month-long period. I don't even know if it was even that long. Month-long period, they allowed for these props that they had been having on their board to continually stay up there to see which users were beating closing line value. So the users who've been using optimizers, right, to get in good value, because if you guys notice, at least for me, the people that I talked to, all within that period, including myself, got limited. $75 a day, $25 a slip, right? That's what I think they did, and I don't blame them for that. Obviously, it sucks, but that's probably what happened, because as a company, you're obviously trying to limit the people who are going to be profitable in your app, and if people are consistently beating the closing line value, they're going to make money long term off of you. So yeah, and then also they just took away all the boosts from people as well. So yeah, TJ's texting me to get off. He said get off stream now. That's literally what TJ just told me. I'm just kidding. We have been live for an hour though. Let's see if I can take any more value from him. Can I get any more value so that way TJ can't go live and start ripping slips? How do people do this full time when the books limit so heavily? It's a great question. You can definitely do this full time. The truth is that you will reach a point where like, it'll sound funny this way, but like you'll reach a point where you'll have to either get a wife so that way you can open accounts for her, or have friends that help open accounts for you. Because yeah, at a certain point, you're going to get limited to literally nothing on some of these books. Others will allow you to continue to play. But also, like, if you guys don't know what arbitrage is a great way to just literally make free money doing this. That some books will limit you, some books won't. That's another way that people will do this full time, which is essentially just being able to see, hey, if Sportsbook A has a specific prop at -105 and Sportsbook B has the other side of that prop at +115, and there is a negative like hold between them where there's a middle ground where you can make a profit, and that's what arbitrage is. And if you do that multiple times a day and just consistently do that, I mean, it'll bring in at least a few $1,000s a month doing arbitrage. But yeah, the other thing is obviously exchanges. If you spent years in the industry doing the ins and outs and figuring out how these sports books make their lines and figuring out how to beat the closing line value, then going over to Novig and the exchange markets like ProfitX, that's another way that you're going to be able to make money without those limits in place. Because remember, with the exchange markets, there aren't limits. It is you laying down a certain amount of money, saying like, it's just like if you were to go up to a buddy and say, hey, I've got 10 grand on this. Not saying that you're going to put 10 grand on it, but if you say, hey, I've got 10 grand on this, if they say, you know what, I'll take the other side of that. It is like, there's not you're not paying a fee to like the sports book, but also like you're just putting liquidity out there for other people to take the other side of whatever bet you're trying to get in. Okay. Kalshi limits arbitrage quickly. Do they really? I didn't think that Kalshi had limits. Because again, it's kind of just like do whatever. Or do you mean like arbitrage in the sense of like making bets within Kalshi and then playing the other side within Kalshi as well? Oh, can be? I've never even heard of that. Gotcha. Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't know Kalshi did that. But yeah, I mean the main books that you're not gonna have limits on is gonna be ProfitX, Novig, Kalshi, and then Polymarket as well. All these other DFS apps and sportsbooks are gonna limit you eventually. But do we have any more props that I don't like this Mizrowski prop? I'm gonna be the first one in TJ's stream to ask about this. I don't really like this prop though at the moment. And that's not just because I think Mizrowski is gonna put up 10Ks today. I just don't like the data points at the moment. So if these, I mean, FanDuel now has a line. So if this moves in the direction of like toward minus 140, I'd probably be like willing to take this. But at the moment, I'm not going to take it. Yeah, pick six hasn't limited me. I don't think that they should because it is essentially still peer-to-peer or at least pool play. Would I take Bregman under singles on better? Bregman under singles. I'm not seeing that. So I would say no. Unless FanDuel just doesn't have a data point here. Let me just search it. Maybe there's just not enough data points on it. Oh, over 0.5 singles. Yeah, I would take that. I would take the over singles. Yeah, that's good. It's a good play. All right, guys. I think that's going to do it for me. We've been live for a little bit over an hour now. Guys, if you do want to check out the optimizer, though, or the Whale Watch tool, if you guys want to check this out for yourself, if you like what I've been doing, crafting slips with this, you guys can go over to upside.tools. You guys can use code Trident. If you're brand new, if you've never tried it before, you guys can get 5 days free using that code on either the Whale Watch tool or the optimizers. If you guys have already tried it and you still want to sign up, you guys can get 25% off using code Trident. All right. If you guys do want to go ahead and get more plays from me, you guys can go follow the Twitter at Trident_DFS. You guys go and drop a follow over there. And like I said, I'm going to be live here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time. So you guys make sure to set your alarms. All right. Everyone who's been in here today, I better see you tomorrow. Okay. Hopefully we cash some of the slips that we put in today. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out.
Don't even know what the day is, but I'll be good by the weekend. Yeah, I'll be good by the weekend. Yeah, everything good by the weekend. Yeah, everything will be good by the weekend. By the weekend. Mondays I think of you, but I ain't tripping on it. Tuesdays I'm hitting, gotta get my hands up on ya. Wednesdays I'm lit with you. You know you're staying over. Thursdays I'm sick of you. I got to get rid of you. Fridays are always the start of the time.